Yo, what's good, guys? Welcome back to a brand new video. Today is another mock draft reaction. I'll have my own mock drafts come out either Tuesday or Wednesday. You'll be seeing this on Monday after the divisional games. Congratulations to the Chiefs. I guess this isn't updated. Reload the page. Is it going to show the scores? Whatever. The Chiefs won, obviously, and yesterday the Lions also won. So some interesting teams going to be in the conference championships. But right now we're just focused on this mock draft. Daniel Jeremiah, he's the lead NFL mock draft analyst guy, however you want to say it. This is what Daniel Jeremiah does. He's one of, if not the best at it. The reason I wanted to react to this one is because of the title. Daniel Jeremiah 2024 NFL Mock Draft 1.0. Bears, Commanders, Patriots, and Saints pick quarterbacks. As a Saints fan, obviously this is huge to me if we're going to have a whole new quarterback. But honestly, if it's not Jayden Daniels, I don't really want them to pick a quarterback. And Jayden Daniels is more and more looking like he's going to get drafted in the top 3 this year. So I think we should just jump right into it. Like usual, I'll be giving it grades. Let me pause on this. I'll be giving it grades. And there's actually 2 versions. There's a Brooks and there's a Jeremiah. We'll react to the Jeremiah one for today. Possibly skim over the Brooks one because I know Jeremiah is their main guy. So with the first overall pick, Caleb Williams, I'll give this one an A, somewhere between an A- and an A. I think I'll land on an A- just because I just want to see what's different with this team once they have Caleb Williams instead of Justin Fields. Similar skill packaging. Caleb Williams overall definitely the more versatile passer, while Justin Fields maybe on the run is not as good as Caleb Williams. Also, contract-wise, getting Caleb Williams to replace Justin Fields makes a lot of sense. And overall, Caleb Williams might be the better quarterback. But production-wise, next season, we're probably not going to see much of a change. Season after next, probably won't see much of a change. So, at this point, I guess that Caleb Williams is the right pick. So, I'll have it at an A-. They did sign a new offensive coordinator, though, and it was not the coordinator I thought they were going to get, Cliff Kingsbury, who was with Caleb Williams. That was the USC offensive coordinator last year. So maybe that changes some stuff. I thought that Caleb Williams was the main guy. I'll probably have him in my mock draft as one as well. But they did not sign Cliff Kingsbury, so maybe we'll see something different. A- though for Caleb Williams. At 2, this is going to be another quarterback because it's the Commanders. Yep. Drake May. I'll give this one, honestly, an A+. It's what I have mocked. I think May and Caleb Williams are 1A, 1B in terms of quarterbacks coming off the board. So I just think that it's a good pick for the Commanders. Not much you can say about this. They need a franchise quarterback. Sam Howell looking like he's not the guy. So go get another quarterback out of North Carolina. Also, young guy too in Drake May. So A+ for the Commanders on that one. At 3, the Patriots, they take Jayden Daniels. Okay, so that means the Saints are either taking J.J. McCarthy, which I would hate, Michael Penix, which I probably wouldn't like that much. Same thing with Bo Nix. But Daniels to the Patriots, I'll give it an A+. Last time, I think CBS also had this, so talking about how every new head coach wants his new quarterback. So Gerard Mayo is getting his guy in Jayden Daniels. At 4, this is going to be the Cardinals, unless there's trades in this draft, which I don't really think there is. This should be the easiest pick of the draft. If this is not Marvin Harrison Jr., I'd be very surprised. It is Marvin Harrison Jr. A+ here. In my opinion, he's the best overall player in this draft. Him, Caleb Williams, Drake May, and Brock Bowers are like all studs in terms of in any other drafts. If the positions are right, they could all go number 1. But obviously, tight end less important than the other positions. But overall, it's the best wide receiver prospect we've seen in a long time in Marvin Harrison Jr. I think he's easily an A+ to the Cardinals. At 5, so in my opinion, this is where the draft really starts with pick 5. This is going to be the Chargers. So could we see receiver? Could we see Brock Bowers? Could we see Joe Alt or Fashanu? Let's see. We see Rome Odunze. Okay, that's not who I expected them to pick. Me personally, Malik Neighbors is my wide receiver 2 in this class, while Odunze sits at 3. In my last mock draft, I had Odunze falling to 17, going to the Jaguars. Which looks like I might have to bring him up a little bit because his value is a lot higher. Rome Odunze is a great receiver, but right now, especially for the Chargers, I think I would lean definitely more speed/deep threat than a possession jump ball. He's a good route runner, Rome Odunze, but I think Malik Neighbors is a little bit more of a playmaker, so I'll give this pick a B+. Not a bad pick. Rome Odunze is a great player, but not the guy I expected him to go. At 6, we have the Giants. If Odunze just went, this should easily be Malik Neighbors. It is. Yeah, I think I'll give this one an A+ as well. In my last mock draft, I had the Giants trading up for quarterback. Now, looking like Caleb Williams is going to go 1 for the Bears. This is their next best guy, the guy they should be going for, Malik Neighbors. My wide receiver 2 in this class. I give this one an A+. At 7, we have the Titans. They go Joe Alt. Not sure if I had this in my mock draft. I don't actually think I did, but I think in my next one I'm going to give the Titans Joe Alt. His fit with Peter Skoronski is much better than what Fashanu's fit with Peter Skoronski would be. I think they complement each other on other sides of the offensive line. So Joe Alt to the Titans at 7. Really your preference on who you think is a better, not prospect, because I think that would go to Fashanu, but better pick for your team between Fashanu and Alt. So Joe Alt to the Titans, I'll give that one an A, just because I think Fashanu's a little bit more of a better talent. At 8, we have the Falcons taking Dallas Turner. Yep, if Jaden Daniels is not on the board, I think you have to go defense here. Whether that's corner, might be a little early for that. I think edge is definitely the right idea. Whether you want to go Turner, Jared Verse, Leatu Latu, they're all great picks. And at 8, honestly, if you want to go any of those 3 guys, it would not be a bad pick. And I'm not going to give any of those guys less than an A. That deserves an A right there for Dallas Turner. At 9, we have the Bears. They're taking Jared Verse. I'll give this one. Yeah, you know what? I'll give this one an A-. Just because if they do end up picking Caleb Williams at 1, which is looking likely, I think they should be looking at wide receiver. And they should hope that Rome Odunze falls to 9. Because Malik Neighbors, I don't think falls to 9. I think he goes somewhere between 5 and 6, in my opinion. Yeah. Maybe 8. Doubt it, but you never know. So they need to hope that Odunze falls to 9. Because if they don't end up with a immediate weapon for Caleb Williams. They do have DJ Moore, but I think you need to get another guy in that system. Jared Verse, though, I could see him going 8 as well. This is a great pick. I'll give this one an A-. At 10, we have the Jets taking Talieisi Fuega. Not something I thought I'd see. So that means what? That means Fashanu and Amarius Mims both dropped underneath Fuega in terms of tackles in this guy's class. Interesting. I've never had Fuega this high, definitely. I think the highest I've had him is late teens, early 20s. So having him at 10 is, I'm not sure about that one. I think Fashanu was the right pick here. I'll give this one a B, B-. I'll give it a B. I mean, I probably should watch more Talieisi Fuega film if Daniel Jeremiah is having him this high, but I think Fashanu is the better pick here at 10. I'd arguably even have Amarius Mims at 10 over Fuega as well. So I'll give this one a B. Could be subject to change just because got to watch a little bit more film on Fuega out of Oregon State. At 11, the Vikings going. Byron Murphy. Yeah. I don't know if this is going to be surprising to you guys, but in my next mock draft, Byron Murphy is going to be in it. With not playing at all in the last 2 weeks, they lost in the playoffs to Washington. Byron Murphy has shot up a lot of boards. Even in this one, he's higher than my number 1 tackle, Johnny Newton. I think Byron Murphy is definitely challenging for that number 1 defensive tackle spot or interior defensive lineman. He's a great player out of Texas. Just high energy player. And if the Vikings want to take him at 11, it's not a terrible pick. I'll give this one a B just because I think secondary needs to be addressed a little bit more than what tackle needs to be addressed here. Also, Fashanu is still on the board. At 12, the Broncos, they take Terrion Arnold. I'll give this a B+. Like the whole draft cycle, basically, my cornerback 1 has been Nate Wiggins. I just think he's a height-weight speed demon. He's 6'4", long arms, fast. Terrion Arnold's fast, little shorter, arms a little shorter. I think overall Nate Wiggins is the better cornerback prospect. I'm also surprised that the Broncos went cornerback. I probably could have seen a couple of other things. I wouldn't even be mad if they wanted to go tackle here with Fashanu, or if they wanted to go interior defensive line with Johnny Newton. But Arnold here, it's not a bad pick. I'll give it a B+. Cornerback is still somewhere in their needs. 13, This is going to be the Raiders. Let's see who they have him pick. They have him going, or he has them going. Yeah. Olufashanu dropping all the way to 13. Boy, if I'm the Saints, I'm mad. I feel like if Olufashanu drops past 10, I think the Saints need to be calling to trade up because their tackles are weak right now. A+ pick for the Raiders. They haven't picked a good tackle, honestly, in a little bit. But Olufashanu, a guy that can end up going 5 in real life, a guy that can probably even end up going 4 in real life if we see a trade up, dropping all the way to 13. Okay, not something I expected to see, but I think he will work out in the NFL. As much as people want to call him a raw prospect, a project player, I think Olufashanu has immense potential, and I think he's going to end up being one of the best tackles in the league. A+ to the Raiders. I'm just mad that the Saints couldn't get him. Speaking of the Saints, they have the 14th overall pick, I know. So it's going to be McCarthy, Penix, probably not Bo Nix. So McCarthy, Penix, I guess. If he has Bo Nix here, I'd be pretty mad. 14th overall pick, the Saints. He's got them going, Bo Nix. Like I just said, not really happy about that. Big fan of Nix's game. I'm reading what he's saying. Me, not really. This is what DJ's saying. I'm a big fan of Nix's game. I think his experience as a 5-year starter is positive for him as he heads to the next level. He would be a plug-and-play starter in New Orleans. I'm not confident in the Saints' view as Derek Carr as the answer. I personally would take Michael Penix over Nix. McCarthy and Nix, I think, are more on the same level. But this is just not a good pick for me. I think there's much more we can address here. I'd rather take Mims here. I'd rather take Johnny Newton here. Could go cornerback here. Nate Wiggins is still on the board. I wouldn't be too mad if he went to the Saints. There's just a lot more to address. Laiatu Latu is still on the board, right? I think Edge is also a good pick that they could take here. I would take Laiatu Latu or Bo Nix in a heartbeat. If the Saints pick a quarterback, just please make it be Jayden Daniels. I don't care if you have to trade up. I don't care if he falls to you, which I don't think he falls to past 13, so got to figure out about that. But I think the only way the Saints should take a quarterback if it ends up being Jayden Daniels, because you're not going to get Drake May or Caleb Williams. The best quarterback you can end up getting and not reaching, in my opinion, is Jayden Daniels. But look like he has Bo Nix. I'm giving this one a D+. I hate the pick. Nothing more I can say about that. At 15, we have the Colts, I believe. They have the Colts going. Why do I keep saying they? He has the Colts going DJ. He has the Colts going Brock Bowers. Also, another guy I would wish was on the Saints rather than Bo Nix. So, also gets me mad, but it's basically, if you want to call him the best prospect in the class, I look at you a little bit crazy because, in my opinion, that's still Marvin Harrison Jr., but he's top 3 prospect in this class, without a doubt, in my opinion. Well, we'll say top 4 if you like Drake May better as a prospect, but Brock Bowers is one of the best college football players over basically his whole time starting at Georgia. He's been one of the best college football players. Made a huge, big difference even when he was out for an injury last couple games last season, and then ended up coming back for the conference championship and stuff. We saw the difference in Georgia's offense. So I think the Saints need to pick Brock Bowers if he's available at 14, but it's an A+ pick just because how amazing of a prospect Brock Bowers is. At 16, we have the Seahawks going Troy Fautanu. Don't mind it at all. He's another guy I would take over Talisi Fuega at 10 for the Jets. I'll give this one, I think I'll just give this one an A- or a B+. It's just a good pick. It's filling the Seahawks' needs. Could they use corner over this? Maybe. But I think Troy Fautanu or tackle in general is the right way to go. I think him and Demarius Mims are very similar in where I can see them being drafted. So, not too mad that he has Fautanu going or Mims. I'll just give this one a B+. At 17, we have the Jacksonville Jaguars. He has them going Quinyon Mitchell. I like this a lot. I'm very high of Quinyon Mitchell out of Toledo. 6'1", one of the fastest players in this draft class. High intensity, high athleticism. I just think he'd be a perfect player for the Lions, but they keep winning, and you may win yourself out of a chance to get Quinyon Mitchell. But if that's for a Super Bowl, then you're willing to take, that risk? It's not a risk. You're winning the Super Bowl. So Quinyon Mitchell to the Jaguars at 17. Yeah, I mean, could see this being tackle. I could see this being interior offensive line if they want to maybe go Graham Barton right here. Yeah, I could also see this being wide receiver if they want to take a chance on Keon Coleman at 17. But Quinyon Mitchell's a great player. I'll give this one a B+. One of my favorite players in this draft class, if not my favorite player in this draft class. I really like him at Toledo. Don't let the college confuse you. He's a dog. At 18, we have the Bengals going J.C. Latham. Completely forgot about how he was still on the board. I think he needs to go to the Saints at 14 as well. I really don't understand why they would go Bo Nix here. Latham to the Bengals. He fits a need. I'm giving this one an A+. I think the value is extremely high. I could see Latham, honestly, if we're talking about players that are going to get drafted in the top 10, unless, obviously, Alufashanu ends up going to 10 or dropping past. I think Latham that's a top 10 pick, in my opinion, or at least he has top 10 talent. Great pick for the Bengals at 18, A+. At 19, the Rams, he has them going Laiatu Latu. I like this pick as well. I think Laiatu Latu is also a potential guy who can end up in the top 10. Has had injury problems, had to medically retire from football while he was in college. Overall, Laiatu Latu is an amazing prospect. Arguably, edge one. My opinion, Dallas Turner or Jared Verse is like 1A and 1B for me. I have no idea who is who. But I think Laiatu Latu is the second or third best guy. I'm definitely going... Yeah, I probably have him as my third best edge. But someone could say he's number one, and I wouldn't argue with him one bit, because Laiatu Latu was a beast. And with the Rams now having, a set pick at 19, we could see them go a lot of places, possibly even a potential replacement for Matt Stafford. I'm pretty sure Rams fans would hate that if they ended up going J.J. McCarthy at 19, but you never know. I'll give this one an A- for Laiatu Latu. Just because some injury problems, we don't really know yet though. At 20, as you can see right here, I wouldn't rule out a quarterback with this pick. Rams could follow the Packers' Aaron Rodgers to Jordan Love blueprint and end up drafting a replacement for Matthew Stafford, like I just said. At 20, Steelers pick Amarius Mims. A+. I think this is the right pick right here. Amarius Mims, in my opinion, with the tackles who have been drafted so far in this class, is the best tackle left. A+ for the Steelers. They just really need tackle. Imagine if J.C. Latham drops to 20 and the Steelers are able to snag him. At 21, Dolphins, Brian Thomas Jr. I mean, sure, I would probably go tackle over wide receiver right now. But if Brian Thomas Jr. really excites you in being a 6'4", high speed, obviously when you're 6'4", you also are a good contested catcher. Or receiver, I guess I should say. He had a great season. Some people might attribute that to Jayden Daniels. Me, Brian Thomas is a set first-round wide receiver. I don't see him dropping out of the first round right now. I'll give this one a B pick, though, just because I think 21 might be a tad bit early. And also, I think that edge is probably higher on their priorities right now. Like I said before, tackle, interior offensive lineman, like Graham Barton, I could see go here at 21. So I'll give this one a B in Brian Thomas. I see Brian Thomas as first-round guy, though. Don't get that mixed up. At 22, we have the Eagles taking Tyler Guyton. Sure, tackle, corner, safety, whatever you want to pick, really. I mean, they have holes on this team. Now with Jason Kelce possibly retiring, we could look at an interior offensive lineman. No great centers, though, for the first, I'd say, 2 rounds of this draft. First guy I could probably see going round 3 is, Cedric Van Pran, I guess. But Tyler Guyton, he's another guy that late first round, early second round. There are a couple of tackles in this class that would fit that mold. A couple guys that comes to the top of my head. I mean, Patrick Paul, Kingsley Suma, Taya. Guys like that. Tyler Guyton, though, to the Eagles. I'll give this one a B+. Next, we have the Texans taking Chop Robinson. Okay, so he has Chop Robinson falling a little bit. Sure, I mean, Texans could go ahead and take an edge in this class. That's not a big deal, in my opinion. Pairing him next to Will Anderson, yes, that would be huge. But I think receiver, Chop Robinson still being on the board is kind of crazy to me. Not insane crazy, but I see him more as a teens guy. But I guess you never really know. Chop Robinson, one of those guys that has a large draft radius where we could see him go anywhere between what? Could you guys see him go to the Saints at 14? Maybe. I'd say 14 to, I guess, 23. I don't know if he falls past the Texans. A guy I'd like to see go to the Texans, though, is Brian Thomas Jr. I think that'd be a cool fit with him and C.J. Stroud. 23, Texans, Chop Robinson. I'll give this one an A-. At 24, Jordan Morgan, another one of those guys who can late first round, early second round tackles. I'm liking Jordan Morgan a lot more as the draft cycle starts to begin. I think he's a great pick. If you want to put him over Talisi Fuega, I look at you like you're a little bit crazy, but it's not that insane. Jordan Morgan's a great player out of Arizona, and they had an amazing college football season. Hopefully they're able to build off of that even without their head coach going to Washington. I think Jordan Morgan's a great pick to the Cowboys. Pairing him next to Tyler Smith, who's looking like he's going to end up being one of the best offensive linemen in this league. Jordan Morgan to the Cowboys. I'll give this one a B+. At 25, Packers take Graham Barton. Sure. That's a fine pick with me. Tackle, obviously Graham Barton, more of an interior offensive lineman, a guard. They could also go corner. They could go a lot of places with the Packers here. I'm interested to see who they decide to bring back in the defensive secondary for the Packers. If they maybe want to take a shot at who have we not seen yet? Kool-Aid McKinstry, Cooper DeJean. There are a couple corners, Nate Wiggins, a couple corners who have not gone in this draft class that I think the Packers would probably prioritize over Graham Barton a little bit more. So just for that, I think I'm going to give this one a B+. I'll give this one a B, actually. Buccaneers take Ennis Rakestraw here at 26 over Nate Wiggins, over Kool-Aid McKinstry, over Cooper DeJean. I'm not so sure about that. I'll give this one a C+. There are a lot of corners I'm taking over Ennis Rakestraw right now. If I have to watch more film on him, then so be it. But there's better guys in my opinion. I'll give this one a C+. Buccaneers. I think corner is the right pick, just not. I don't really think Ennis Rakestraw right now. Give this one a C+. At 27, the Cardinals are able to snag Cooper DeJean. Kool-Aid McKinstry and Nate Wiggins are still going to be on the board for the last, 4 or 5 picks in this draft. If the Ravens are able to snag one of those guys at the last pick, or potentially, what would they end up being? 29, 30, 31, 32, wherever they end up going. I guess they wouldn't end up with 28 because if the Lions or the 49ers lose and the Ravens also lose, they beat both of those guys this season. So the worst they can end up right now is 29. And either Kool-Aid McKinstry or Nate Wiggins, if the Ravens decide to lose against the Chiefs on Sunday, would be there at 29. So that's interesting. Cooper DeJean, though, he's one of the best players in this class overall. I mentioned this so many times, but he can play wherever in the secondary. Corner, safety, nickel, boundary, strong safety, free safety, everywhere. Kick returner, punt returner, he could do it all. I'll give this one an A+, just an amazing college football player, and he's going to be able to bring a lot of versatility to an NFL defense on day one. I really like Cooper DeJean out of Iowa. Best player available, I guess, if you're a Cardinals fan or Cardinals front office. You have him over Nate Wiggins and McKinstry. I'd argue a little bit, but overall, Cooper DeJean is a dog. 27, Cooper DeJean. That's a great pick. At 28, the Bills taking Johnny Newton. I 100% forgot that Johnny Newton was still on the board. Sure. Best player available, another one of those picks. The Bills, do they really need interior defensive linemen? I'm not sure about that one. Johnny Newton is a great run stopper. This guy, in his opinion, though, has Byron Murphy over Johnny Newton, which I don't hate. I just don't think if Johnny Newton doesn't go at what? Where did he have Murphy going? Yes, he had him going 11 to the Vikings. I think if... Whoops, skipped a little bit. I think if Johnny Newton doesn't go 11 or doesn't go 12 to the Broncos or doesn't go 14 to the Saints, I don't think he drops past that. So him at 28 to the Buffalo Bills, while it's not an amazing fit, not fit, but need, I'd say, it's the best player available right now in your opinion. I'll give this one an A-. At 29, I think I spoiled it a little bit. Devontae Walker to the Chiefs. They need themselves a wide receiver one. Oh, whoops. Rashee Rice is a great wide receiver, but is he a wide receiver one? I'm not so sure. Devontae Walker is. Had a little bit of problems with his eligibility to start this season, but he really turned it on, and he's going to be a great NFL wide receiver, at least in my opinion. He just projects so well. He has great weight. He has great size and all. Hands are amazing. Speed, pretty good. I mean, for a wide receiver one, I think he has pretty good speed. Devontae Walker, in my opinion, is going to be a dog in this draft. And if he didn't have those eligibility issues, played the whole season, played more games at North Carolina, or he did transfer from somewhere. Where did Devontae Walker transfer from? Just forgot real quick. Why did I forget where he transferred? I guess I could just look at his college football reference page, or whatever it's called, college football. Just wanted to see where he transferred from. Let's get sports reference. Yes, Kent State. I knew it was a smaller school. I couldn't remember at the top of my head. Transferred from Kent State. I mean, as you can see here, 8 games, 41 receptions, 699 yards. If he plays a full season, possibly hits 1,000 yards receiving. Years before that with Kent State, he had a great season. Then his first season, he was a freshman, so not much you could say about that one. But he's a is he a red shirt? Not so sure about a red shirt, but he translated to a wide receiver one. I really like Devontae Walker, and if he did end up playing for a big school his whole career or didn't have those eligibility issues, I think we can honestly see him as a much higher prospect. And if he performs well at the combine, Devontae Walker could probably force himself into the top 17 or something. He's a great player out of North Carolina though. At 30, we have the Lions taking Nate Wiggins. A+, my number one corner, going to a pretty much corner-needy team. I mean, there's not much better fit than that. Nate Wiggins is also an extremely great hustle player. Also feeds into that Dan Campbell system. I really love this pick for the Lions. If they're able to snag Nate Wiggins at 30 after having this amazing season, that's just a win-win. Nate Wiggins is an amazing player. A+ easily to the Lions at 30. Kool-Aid McKinstry, still on the board right now. Just wanted to point that out. Here he goes at 31. Yeah, you're kind of just forcing the 49ers' hand here. In other draft classes or mock draft, they go interior offensive lineman probably. They go tackle probably. But Kool-Aid McKinstry still being here at 31, it's a steal, honestly. I'll give it an A for the 49ers at 31. And finally, the last pick in this draft, the Baltimore Ravens are going Troy Franklin. So he has Troy Franklin over Xavier Legette being 1. Anyone else? Adonai Mitchell being 2. Xavier Worthy, don't really see him as a first-round guy. Might see Mitchell and Legette over Worthy, in my opinion. Keon Coleman, he has slipping to the second round. So he has a couple big-name wide receivers not going ahead of Troy Franklin. Actually has Franklin going ahead of those guys. Hey, if the Ravens need a speed guy in Troy Franklin, go take a speed guy in Troy Franklin. I honestly, just because those wide receivers are still on the board, don't love the pick. I'll give it a B though, because at this point in the late first round, it's preference. So yeah, thank you for watching this video. This really gave me a lot of insight on the draft, where maybe I should be mocking some of these guys higher or lower. I'm looking at Rome Odunze. I'm looking at, who else am I looking at that I could probably mock a little bit higher? Talisi Fuega, possibly got to watch more film on him. Byron Murphy for sure. He's going to be a first-round guy in my next mock draft. Bo Nix, don't even start with me. I don't like the pick, to say the least. Yeah. Brian Thomas, could mock him a little bit higher. Ennis Rakestraw, probably should watch more film on him. And other than that, he had a lot of top guys dropping a little bit. So it'll be interesting to see if guys like Kool-Aid McKinstry, Nate Wiggins, Johnny Newton, Cooper DeJean, all big-name guys who could fit their way into the top 15 in some way or another, drop all the way to the late 20s to early 30s. So thanks for watching this video, and we'll see you next time. See you tomorrow or Wednesday for my mock draft. Yeah. Peace.